Those of you that have been using the Roles Played in Families cards online for a while, you had 6 options for people you could work with in your family, and we've responded to your requests for more. So we now have 8. If I think about me, and then I'm tabbing here for mum, dad, Mo. I think the last 2 you have to actually physically go to the slot, to the label, and type them in. But you just click on it and type the name. So the idea is these are the cards that you buy in the box and that hopefully you've been working with physically. And here they all are. You'll find them there: the rescuers, the performers, the helpless, the controllers. We'll stay with the simple version for now. And we decide that what roles did we all play? Well, if I go back to the rescuers, I was definitely a rescuer. Left mouse button, press down, you can read it more clearly. You can either let it go if it's not relevant. For me, the caretaker was relevant. I tried to take care of everyone. So I'm going to slide up to here where it says me and release. And you'll see I'm given another card underneath. I would say glue. Difficult one there. I think mum was the glue in the family. I've just kept my left mouse depressed and release. 100% the good child. That was me. Mummy's little helper was me, definitely. I tried to be a rescuer. I'm sliding them all up. Reverse role parent, all the green ones. I tried to do it all. Tried to be a peacemaker with my parents. And there we go. If we look at performer roles, superstar, super sports star, definitely me. Tried to do well at school, definitely my sister, Mo. Happy, yeah, everybody tried desperately to be happy, to keep dad happy, really. It was like everything was better if we didn't moan or make a fuss. I think Mo was probably the golden child in the sense that we all looked to her. She was a doctor. I tried to be an entertainer and so on. And I'm moving quickly on to helpless. These are roles. Mum was an invalid. It wasn't a role. It was an actual situation that she was paralyzed, but it did dominate our life. I used that even though I know she wasn't playing a role. She was actually experiencing it. I'm going to move on to the controllers because this is where it was interesting. I'm going to go to the second layer to find the volcano because dad was a volcano. And I thought that was the only angry person, but actually mum could be an iceberg as well. But actually I knew that I could play those games when I was a little bit older. I developed those tendencies myself, things I had to work on. And so I've obviously put a lot for myself there, but I was a major rescuer, and it's a real way of identifying what we were and what the members of our family were. Down here, change mode drops them down so that they look like how they would be if you laid your cards out on the table. It's diagnostic. It helps people come to terms with what life was really like when they were young. And this is the basic principle of the roles played in families. I'm going to go to the roles played in anger because they work in exactly the same way. So the layout looks the same and it operates the same. So wait for the start, click on there. And again, I've got the 8 versions. Here again, I'll work with, just for consistency, mum, dad, and Mo. The anger cards, here they are. I did say that dad was definitely a volcano. I tended to be a bit of a sinkhole, turning my anger inwards. Mum could be an iceberg. Dad, he didn't throw things, break things. We did yell loudly. I discovered when I was making the cards that I think for dad it was really about outrage because he just felt powerless. We were very poor and it was difficult in our home for lots of different situations. I think he just felt powerless and was outraged. That says the world's gone to pot. Whose fault is this? Something must be done. I'm powerless, scared, and need someone to blame. I think we were all snipers in our family. I'm going to put the sniper in everyone, that I learned to snipe, taking little pot shots, little digs. Oh, yes, my parents were stupots. I learned to hold grudges, and lots of these things had to come out of me. It wasn't good. Being married to Chris, I learned to behave in different ways. That was the most formative years of my life. I think in looking at anger, you have to have a card that highlights verbal and or physical violence. Anger is energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. So people who say they are not angry, what have they done with it? Where has the anger gone? How do they express their anger? There are people who eat their anger. The anesthetizer, I numb my feelings. If I eat, I don't feel angry. I had thought about putting something about depression because we know that anger that isn't expressed leaves people depressed, but I didn't want to make it too pathological. And so I just put the defeatist. No point in getting angry. I'm just too tired. Teenagers with the whatever, and so on. The family was a little bit one striking you out. Certainly, Dad was about that. If people offended him, that was it. You were out. And for me, as a people pleaser, I tried to hide my anger. Changing the mode drops them down, and you can see how they look. Now, changing back to go to the options cards, I've identified what the angry feelings are and what do I do now? What I might use these blank ones for is option yes, and this one on the end could be option no. I'm not going to do that. So let's say I was focusing on my relationship with my father. Assertiveness. I will set boundaries as to how others may treat me. Well, that would be difficult. I could try. Well, actually, I think I'll have another label called I'll try. But some of these are quite difficult to do. Sliding it up. Commitment, yes, I'm in. I won't walk away and reject. Yeah, I'm going to stay in that relationship. I will not explode with anger and fright. Yeah, I don't want to be like my dad. I don't want to explode and frighten people. Find my voice. Yeah. Oh, I'll try. You know, can you get the sense of this? Just looking at some of the others, trying to get perspective, self-protection. I will step away from abusive relationships. I will observe. I will work through. I will forgive myself. I will forgive the other person, and so on. I will stop taking the blame, stop telling myself everything is my fault. Well, I'll try. Do you see how you can use these columns for anything you like, really? But it gives you a direction of the work as to where we're heading, what needs to happen, how healing needs to take place.